Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta.
And most handsy. Waka waka.
Waka waka. Tonight we have hands. There's the punchline.
Well, there's the lead up to the...
Yeah, whatever. So, for those of you just tuning in, Creepypasta are short, scary stories that get copied and pasted across the internet. And we will be doing Hands tonight, which was by... Fuck you, man. I was like thinking that the whole time, like I coming here, it was just like it's like introducing Hands, jazz hands,
With jazz hands.
God damn it. Yeah, Hands was done by Unseen Wombat. It's on Creepypasta.wiki and has been read by Mr.Creepypasta on YouTube. So you can go check that out. But we'll be doing our rundown regardless. So the narrator is chronicling what he calls the worst thing he's ever done. And back when he was 16, him and his friends just had a stupid way of passing the time.
Which is hilarious because this wouldn't even crack my top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, honestly, same.
There's nothing wrong about this. Yeah, there's some stupid about it.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I actually am one to talk, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
All right. Yeah, so the kids, when they're 16, they're in Cleveland, not much to do, so they pass the time by passing out. Or forcing it. Because apparently this is actually a thing, because I know my siblings did it when they were younger, and they were stupid for it. But they, hyperventilate, and then you get somebody to give you a bear hug, and it knocks you out.
Yeah, lots of people have
but...
tried it on me, and I've seen lots of other people try it, and I don't know, we just couldn't get it right. However, he thinks Cleveland, Ohio is bad. Try growing up in Udney, Ontario.
Yeah.
Anywho, we tried that because, I think we all did at some point.
I remember.
Or something akin to that. Well, anywho, that didn't work. However, I'm resilient and I have a high tolerance for discomfort and pain. So, one of my friends discovered that I didn't really fight when you choked me out. So sometimes I'd just pass out because, you hold on too long. This became a running thing. That happened for a period of time. It happened fairly frequently. Not every day, but
every so often.
Every so often, it'd just be like, hey, watch this. And I'd just be like, bam.
Done.
Yeah. Anywho. So, I can relate to this, which is going to become not important, but it's going to come back up later.
I think I know why you're angry, or I think I know what the problem, but I'll wait to hear.
Like bad Mexican food, it'll come up later.
Okay. So yeah, he explains that process and what him and his buddies did for the summer and shit, or for the fall, whatever this was.
But one of the crew was at his mom's all summer, so he never got to experience the pure joy.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that basically they're out for a second or two?
For 2 seconds, yeah, that's what they said.
A second or two, yeah. But they trip amazing balls for those.
They get super vivid, dream-like visions.
Yeah.
That usually incorporate things that they've just seen.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, here we go.
All right.
This is where, first off, in my experience, passing out for a couple of seconds, because in my aforementioned, stupid youth, I was only out for a couple of seconds. Never saw shit.
Yeah.
The closest I came was one time. It was the worst time. I was conscious but unable to move.
Oh, okay, like a sleep paralysis kind of thing.
And it was, that was weird, but nothing like visions.
Nothing like super vivid.
Now, here's why. You vividly dream, you theoretically, or apparently you do dream in the other stages of sleep, but you only vividly dream in REM sleep.
Yeah.
it takes a long time to get to REM sleep unless you've been REM sleep deprived.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've been REM sleep deprived, like hardcore REM sleep deprived, something that your typical teenagers would not be, especially a whole group of them.
Yeah.
Then you can, like, go basically bam into REM sleep. But, yeah. So REM sleep, because REM sleep is important to your body, but under most normal circumstances, it takes a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah.
At least, like, we're talking like an hour and a half.
Yeah, not 2 seconds, and not in the amount of, like, stuff you see in that 2 seconds. Like, it's not Inception where, like...
And these descriptions are vivid. These are not the kind of...
Like, he's recalling them from, like, past.
And
that shit fades.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, these are vivid. Like, if you weren't... Like, okay, there's a difference between being knocked out and being asleep, granted, but it's not... You're not in a state in which you will
recall
see things.
Yeah.
In which you will see things in that much detail.
Okay, yeah, I got you, yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, his last one that he sees, the lobster trap.
Yeah.
Or the lobster in the trap and the seaweed. Like, he might have a vague...
recollection, or like
he might have a vague just shut up and let me speak.
Yep.
He might have a vague, like, understanding that there's some sort of crustacean or maybe an insect in a cage. He wouldn't even know he's underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Or that there's seaweed. Like, you know, like, he's got way too many details for these to not be, for lack of a better term, vivid dreams.
Yeah.
So this is bullshit, both from experience and both from, I fucking did research.
Yeah. No, you poked your hole and then explained it. Why the hole is there.
So, like, and again, I admit that, you know, being rendered unconscious and falling asleep, they are different things, and honestly, I didn't fucking try and find out the goddamn subtle differences between the two, because, honestly, unconsciousness.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I've never experienced this, but I know people that did it. I've never really heard them say that, like,
I'll fucking choke you out right now.
No, thank you.
You can tell me what you didn't see.
Yeah. Like, it was usually, hey guys, watch this. Done. And then they black out and they come back, it's like, whoa. Like, they just get the rush, but they don't get, like, any darkness. Or no, it is just darkness. Or it's just, like, they're blanked out.
It's like being asleep. You cease to exist for a couple of seconds, or at least that's how sleep has always appeared to me. It's like, I just didn't exist last night.
Yeah, you just shut off.
Yeah. And that's what it is with the whole, you know, being forced unconscious thing. You just kind of switch off, switch on.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the IT crowd. Just try to turn it off, turn it back on again.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that,
anyway, that's me done.
Yeah, with that hole poked. So his one friend has never tried it, and he's doing something stupid at the time, like jumping off a fucking off of one of those electric power line like towers that you see like carved through a forest or something. That's where they're hanging out and doing this shit. And so he's never tried it, so they decided to give him a shot, or like show him how to do it and stuff. And they knock him out. And he comes back in 2 seconds, screaming and like in a crazed state and freaking out. And they ask him what he saw, and he won't say it. And then after a little while, they take him home. And after a week or so, or like during the week, he comes back. Oh no,
because this was on a Saturday.
Yeah, this was on a Saturday,
and they don't see him all the next day.
Yeah,
and this is kind of another place where I got a fucking tirade. Okay, so they put him out on a Saturday. The next day, they don't see him. It's Sunday. The narrator assumes that he's been to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist all day.
Oh, well, he does. I think he does that in retrospect, because like he says, like, oh, he came back to school and like but little like days and stuff like that. So they just
regardless
assumptions.
Yeah, this is a little soon for any results to happen from therapy. Again, speaking from personal experience. Sometimes you can get a script that quickly. It's actually sometimes it's really fucking easy. But the drugs take a couple of weeks to kick in. You have to
wouldn't be,
saturate
within
your
a
system
day or so.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you don't know how unless you're talking tranquilizers, in which case, like, yeah, they'll fucking calm you down, but you're not going to school. Basically, just the whole lead up to that is,
not done right and a little rushed in terms of, like, the results. It should have been
completely unresearched.
Yeah.
The most cursory amount of research would have given you something more accurate than this. And, just total fucking took me out of the moment, obviously, because I just took, the recap out of the moment.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Second hole poked.
Well, that's less of a hole, more of a just like...
You didn't do your research.
If you're not writing what you know, find out about what you're writing so that you're writing what you know.
And as you said, like, it's not hard to look that up. And,
not
like,
these days, man.
Yeah.
Like,
especially in, like, again, these stories are posted on the internet.
Yeah.
your life is around the internet when you're
to Google.
Exactly. Even Wikipedia would probably give you better, or would give you some kind of somewhere to go, a jumping off point for that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that Google takes you to Wikipedia usually 9 times.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true. Yeah.
It's basically always in the first 10.
Yeah.
Like, top 10. Usually it's in the top damn 3.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Wikipedia would be better than nothing.
Yeah. So this guy is, like, kind of keeping to himself, but, like, they don't really talk to him about it the whole lot. And, like, they're shooting the shit one day when they're walking home.
Well, and the whole group.
Yeah.
Just,
the whole group is just like
they don't talk about knocking each other out. They don't talk about
no
what they
fun.
see. Yeah.
It's like, you get hurt, like, it's all fun and games until somebody goes into a manic state afterward. So, yeah, they're shooting the shit, him and the guy. And then, I think his name's Mike, but whatever. And that's when he just kind of blurts out, it's like, about the hands and the voices. And he finds, our narrator finds out that for the last couple of days, he's been going to bed, or like at night, these hands are coming out his window, like tons of them, and voices, and he's trying to hold them back, but he's not strong enough anymore. Like, he doesn't think he can hold on that long. So they're probably going to get him tonight.
Oh, and this was actually my favorite fucking part, because I'm reading along with you doing the rundown.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're 16, right?
Yeah.
We get that very on in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the will part, the willing part, where he's telling the narrator, like, specifically, oh, come on. But yeah, anywho, he tells the narrator, like, give this guy my, like, I want this guy to have my Super Nintendo, and I want this guy to have my CDs, because, okay, now... That's not the kind of shit that a 16-year-old would say. That's the kind of shit that, like, an 8-year-old would say to his friend.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, like, because, fuck, man, who gets my Super Nintendo when I die? That's really important to an 8-year-old.
Not really so much a 16-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old's more like, fuck, I'm dead. This is gonna suck.
It's like, yeah, I didn't even get to kiss a girl.
Yeah.
Or a guy. I don't know. It's whatever.
I mean, at 16, I kissed a few, more than a few girls. But, yeah. There are lots of things.
Yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, like, it seems, it's just kind of like, especially, like, he's talking about, like, the girls that are out of his league and stuff like that, and, like, it's like, here, have my SNES, and, like, here's my CDs. Also, it kind of gets, like...
Well, he's not giving them out, but he's like, man, I want this guy to have this, and I want, because, he doesn't have one, and I want this guy to have this, because you guys don't like rap, but he does. It's like, dude, man...
This should not...
I'm not a lawyer.
Exactly. I'm not going to be able to even divvy this out when you're gone. Also, maybe we should have a talk with your folks about this, because I think you're on suicide watch, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, that's where that's kind of like what I was thinking, actually, as an afterthought now. It's like, yeah, this kid is, like, taking this a little too, like, oh man, it's the hands. They're supernatural. They're going to get him. It's like, no, you dumbass. Like, he's, like, this kind of screams a little more like suicidal thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dark.
Well, it's a lot darker than what
we're getting. Yeah.
But, like, it's kind of the whole thing with this entire story is that it's kind of more or less it's rushed.
Yeah.
And this is thrown in there to kind of give that feeling of foreboding, but really all it does is kind of just like, again, takes you right out of the fucking moment and just says, that's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it's like, yeah, and now, like, thinking on it, like, I can't really, like, I don't really, there's a bit of a, like, silly almost, like, difference between this kid's maturity and this kid's maturity, or, like, the way they react to it. Like, again, like, here's my SNES. Meanwhile, they were talking about, like, girls and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah.
It's like, man, I was out with some hookers last night, and it was great, but I caught some sort of supernatural STD. Cultist, have my PS4.
All right.
And make sure Captain Solanum gets my MP3 player.
No problem.
Because, man, I'm just gonna die.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sure several other people are, too. But yeah, no.
Like,
yeah, no, that is not the reaction. That is not the,
that's not how that works.
Like,
That's
whoa,
not
whoa,
how
whoa.
that plays.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so, yeah, we get the whole, like, yeah, so he just kind of, like, before the guy can, like, react or do anything, which is bullshit, the guy just walks into his house and closes the door, and then our narrator just goes home and thinks about what's going on.
And fucking ignores everyone.
And no, exactly.
One of his other buddies comes over later that night, and he's just, like, ignores the door.
Just listen to Linkin Park, just crawling in my skin, like, just brooding. I don't know, that's kind of, like, it's just the stereotypical, like, brooding, like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
I just
next
don't
day,
understand why you had to go with Linkin Park.
I don't know, because that's the common stereotype for that, for angst. Anyway, so the next day, shocker, shocker, someone broke into Mike's house through his window, and he's missing. And then we find out, like, and like the police check, like, with everybody and stuff, and they're looking around. He's never found. To this day, he's still a missing case. So the narrator tries to do some research after this event at his library because the internet isn't a thing at this point in history.
Which I call shenanigans on because, okay, this is 12 years ago. He's 16, right?
Yeah.
Now, I had pretty, like, okay, I did not have access to a home computer, but our school, which was not in a place as big as Cleveland, Ohio,
Yeah.
we had a fucking computer lab.
Yeah.
Like, with internet access.
And the internet-
library had computers with internet. And this is when I was 16.
Yeah.
I am older than 28.
Yeah.
Which is, by extrapolation, the age of the narrator when he writes this story.
Yeah. Give or take, but yeah.
No.
Oh,
He's
really?
16. Mm-hmm. This is 12 years ago. By
Yeah, okay.
extrapolation, he's 28.
Fair enough, yeah.
Now, I'm 32, and when I was 16, at least at school, if I needed access to the internet, I had it.
Yeah.
So, shenanigans.
Also, I'm pretty sure even during, even if this was, like, bumped up, like, down the road a bit, I'm pretty sure even in the mid-90s, the internet was still, like, a pretty useful and, like, research tool. Like,
Yes.
not, like, for public use, not, like, rocket scientists, like the guy says.
Yeah, or people with $5,000 home PCs, which
Yeah.
I don't know what the price of home PCs was at the time, but yeah. He's vastly underscoring just
Internet,
how
like, technology
available
and
the internet was at that time, because, like, in Cleveland, Ohio, we're talking, like, the schools would have had, like, the high school would have had it, the public library would have had it. Like, I mean, he would have had access to it. If it wasn't in his home, it was probably in most of his friends' homes.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't have the internet, but most of my friends did. Mm-hmm. And I lived in, like, I didn't live in a city. I lived in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere. Most of my friends still had the internet.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, just so much wrong.
Just another
with that statement.
This is a very holy piece of work.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting. Now, yeah, he does find out. Like, again, like, he finds, like, the closest thing that he can find in his research.
And this is actually when he's in college.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, he finds it in college because of or he learns about it in college because of
history.
His junior class on world history.
Okay.
This would probably more likely be ancient civs, but whatever.
Yeah. Priests in ancient Egypt would induce a similar form of unconsciousness by locking themselves in sarcophagus or in coffins to get visions of the afterlife. So he's just like...
All right, now, bam, here I come.
All right. Before you
no. Priests and shamans. I don't know about this specific
Yeah.
example, but priests and shamans throughout history have tried to, shall we say, pierce the veil.
Yeah.
To view the afterlife, to get closer to it, and I'm sure they have done lots of shit like this. However, knocking yourself out for a couple of seconds, or having one of your homies knock you out for a couple of seconds, not the same thing as what these people do. I mean, there are, like, hallucinogenics and poisons and shit that, like, practically kill your body and let your mind go.
Yeah.
And yada yada yada, and yeah, there's lots of shit and lots of practices. And the tamest of those practices is so far beyond what these kids were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the closest I've ever, like, I could even, like, extrapolate, like, a connection, and it's very weak at best, is that, like, I know monks in, like, Tibet and shit will go into such a deep meditation that they supposedly pierce the veil or see visions and stuff like that. That's not quite the same as just knocking yourself out for 2 seconds, but, like, that's the closest this guy gets to, like, trying to connect the dots, essentially. If the dots were, like, miles away, had to, like...
Yeah, that's less connecting the dots, more of jumping to a...
Jump in the shark.
Jumping to a conclusion. Apparently I can't get a full sentence out properly today, which is bullshit, because I've gotten so many out. Man, my story is so full of holes, it might as well be hands. Oh, dirty.
But yeah, so yeah, like, I mean, that shit, like, is a thing, and, like, obviously this guy, like, found something, like, got, like, an inkling of that. It's like, oh, that'll be interesting for a story. And then I'll link it to this thing. And it's like, but he didn't do enough research, and so...
Well, and
we got hands.
That's the name of the game with this one, is that there's no research. There's no effort.
There's as much research as Hollywood does sometimes with with lore in movies. Or TV shows do. Like, it feels like... That's actually one of my major things about this. It felt like his, like, knowledge was mainly from, like, TV. Or from...
Not even
film.
that.
From film. Not very accurate stuff. Like, he didn't look, like, thoroughly online or anything like that.
He didn't Google this shit once.
Yeah.
He heard about some Egyptian bullshit, and because he has been a kid, he knows about the fucking... unconscious thing.
Yeah.
He came up with the fucking hands thing out of his own ass and put them all together. They don't naturally fit, but he just pressed on them until they did. Actually, he didn't, because he just kind of left them not fitting.
Yeah.
But thought that they fit. And... Okay, the whole extrapolation, the author of the narrator of this is 28 years old. I highly doubt that the author was 28 years old. This smacks of adolescent ignorance. Like, written by someone who maybe wasn't even 16.
Was maybe, like, a little bit younger than that and had an idea.
I could see a 12-year-old coming up with this shit.
Yeah.
Like, now, I mean, for all I know, I'm wrong. The guy was 28 when he wrote it, but man, yeah, I doubt it.
Fair enough. And yeah, that is the end of the rundown, because we're left with him just, like, questioning and shivering and like, about what happened and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Otherwise,
it's been 12 years, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah, why do you... Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's gone, like, you're not. I hate to be callous, but...
Go on with your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's been 12 years. Yeah.
It's been 12 years. Why are you worrying about this now?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, aside from the initial idea, which there was a lot of this that I share your opinion with, but because me being me, I just kind of I'll just keep listening, reading. I'm actually gonna have to say that this is your sheer amount of explanation and poking holes and for this, it probably changed my view to just being I would not recommend this.
No,
because while it did have an interesting idea to me, just the sheer amount of even I found obvious, that's kind of wrong, that's also really stupid, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I can't really recommend that one.
No, but one recommendation I will make is that whoever wrote this, if this is, I don't know if this is recent or not, but keep writing, because the mistakes that were made are fixable mistakes.
Yeah.
It's really just ignorance and, like, no research.
Yeah, like that is the thing, like,
Yeah.
which we both picked up on.
Wasn't writing what he or she knew, I'm assuming he, wasn't writing what he knew, and that was basically the downfall of the entire story.
Yeah, it wasn't properly researched, so...
Yeah,
But
so
if you
either
have
write
any-
what you know,
Yeah.
or
Learn.
fucking hit the net. I mean, it's... Wow, I just really, really sounded old. But yeah, hit the internet and learn what you're gonna write.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard. I mean, information is so readily available these days that there is no excuse for this.
Yeah.
Other than...
Ignorance.
Yeah, exactly. Other than ignorance, which I'm not gonna say that, you know, like, I don't want to just tear this story down and then leave whoever wrote it feeling like, you know, big old pile of shit.
Yeah.
So, that's my recommendation. I can't really recommend this story, but I recommend whoever wrote it, keep writing.
Alright.
Because that's how you get better.
Exactly.
This is too early in someone's writing.
Yeah.
Theoretically. This is what I'm extrapolating.
Again, we don't have the
However,
context, but yeah.
For all I know, this is like their 10 millionth short story, and
Yeah.
maybe
So,
they should just quit.
I mean, I hope not. Like, I hope we're... Yeah, like, Unseen Wombat, if you are listening, you need a little bit more... You need a lot more research done for your story.
yeah.
That is kind of what it boils down to. Because it is an interesting idea of, like... Because, I mean, I've even seen that in media, like, I think it's called Flatliners, where they, like, try... But that's more or less, like, they actually are trying to kill themselves, like, stay
Yeah.
dead for, like, a while, and then
Not
something
knock
comes over.
yourself out for
Yeah.
a second.
And then something crosses over, essentially, or something supernatural takes notice. Which is always interesting and always cool, but, again... Need a little bit more meat on that bone.
Yeah. Honestly, this story, just based on the amount of research that wasn't done, this story is probably half as long as it should be.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to with me.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Honestly, that rundown is pretty much our opinions that we usually do.
Well, yeah,
afterwards.
because I jumped in the middle and just
Yeah.
started talking
As we've
shit.
done a couple of times in our show. If you still really do want to listen to it or read it, it's on Creepypasta.wiki. Also, Mr. Creepypasta does a excellent reading, as he always does. So go check it out there. I'll leave a link in the description below. So I guess that was Hands. Jazz Hands. If you liked it, if you didn't like what we had to say, if you have comments, you can leave them in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Tumblr and iTunes, so leave us a review. That'd be awesome of you. You can send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, if you'd like to contact us through Twitter, we're at Dr. Leviathan and Review Cultist. And if you would like to support us, you can donate. Go to crazonstudios.tumblr.com, where you can check out every title card for each episode, and on the side there's a little donate button. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist,
And I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
and this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
Jazz